Tingshir de Tampa Chukong Sani, Tonyam Salomar Yu, Yam de Samba Shachim Shado Tuki Batanjili Sambarje, 为度化天下无边无际的有情众生，速得上正等觉圆满佛果，请大家发广大师生的菩提心，以及方便广大密咒圣动机，并且如理如法的谛听。
Please listen to the teaching by cultivating the two aspects of supreme motivation, the vast intention of the Mahayana Bodhicitta, and the vast method of the secret mantra Vajrayana, so it's able to lead all sentient beings as limitless as space to the state of the unsurpassed Buddhahood.
那我们今天呢，继续开始讲这个入菩萨行论入行论呢，我们一共有10品有10品里面呢，我们前面的3品主要是将我们的相续当中的菩提心没有升起的，让它升起菩提心的前3品。前3品里面呢，第1品、第2品我们已经讲完了，然后呢，现在是在第3品。
So today we'll be continue on the teaching on the guide to Bodhisattva way of life. This teaching consists of 10 chapters. The first 3 chapters are designed for those who have not aroused Bodhicitta in the mind stream. These 3 chapters are designed to allow them to arouse Bodhicitta. So we have finished the first and second chapter, and today we'll be continue on the 3rd chapter.
在这个前3品里面呢，我们第1品主要就是讲了菩提心的功德然后呢，当我们知道了菩提心的功德之后呢，我们才会对这个菩提心产生信心那第2品里面呢，我们主要讲的就是在我们相续当中升起菩提心的一些障碍是什么呢？这些就是罪业我们的一切的罪障呢，就是导致障碍在我们相续当中产生菩提心的障碍，所以呢，第2品主要就是讲的忏悔的部分。第3品主要就是受持菩提心所以呢，就是前面的2个已经有的时候呢，那我们现在已经具备了在相续当中升起菩提心的一个容器所以呢，第3品主要就是讲这个受持菩提心的部分。
So the first chapter talks about the benefit of bodhicitta. It is that once we know the benefit of bodhicitta and the quality of bodhicitta, then we're able to develop motivation to obtain it or develop faith towards it. The second chapter talks about the obstacles that are preventing us from arousing bodhicitta in our mind stream. The obstacles are the karmic obscurations in our mind stream. So thereby to eliminate these obstacles, the second chapter mainly focus on the confession of our karmic obscuration. And then the 3rd chapter is the upholding of bodhicitta, or adopting the bodhicitta. So once we have able to successfully learn or follow the first and second chapter by developing faith towards the bodhicitta and having purify or eliminate the obstacles in our mind stream. And then the 3rd chapter will allow us to become a vessel for bodhicitta, to allow us to uphold bodhicitta.
然后在第3品里面呢，我们首先是上次讲了随喜就是随喜世间以及出世间的一些功德。然后呢，第2讲了就是请求转法轮，然后呢请求不入涅槃以及回向这些。然后呢，这些讲完了之后呢，我们就是开始讲了这个对，就是回向，我们就讲到这个回向这里了。
And in the 3rd chapter, previously we have talked about the teaching of rejoice. Rejoice the merit of the ordinary merit as well as the extraordinary merits, the merits of this world and not of this world. And also, in addition to other things such as request to turn Dharma wheel, request Buddha to not go into parinirvana, as well as the dedication of merits. And today we'll be continue on the next topic.
所以这以上我们在回向里面包括的是，我们通常的说 回向跟发愿是蛮相似的，很像的。有时候我们还没有办法分开什么是回向，什么是发愿所以呢，在这里说的回向里面，它也就是说来自众生的疾病没有预料之前，愿我能够变成他的护士啦就是当这个世间上有饥渴这样的饥荒的时候呢，愿我变成食物看起来好像是愿文一样的，但是呢，就是说我们所说的回向跟愿文的差别只有一个是在一个有功德的前提下发的愿，就叫做回向。然后是没有任何前面没有积累任何的功德的时候，就是只是发的愿的话，这叫做愿力、愿望所以这两个的差别大部分都是很多高僧大德都是这样解释的。
So here within the dedication of merit, we often say that the aspiration, making aspiration and doing dedication is something very similar. Sometimes we cannot distinguish what is dedication versus what is aspiration. So here we see in the teaching that there's aspirations as such, including when there's illness, may I become a caretaker, or when there's famine, may I manifest into food to cure hunger. It seems like these are all aspirations, but these are actually all included in the dedication of merit. So actually, to distinguish the difference between dedication and aspiration is that for the dedication of merit, it is done after you have accumulated certain amount of merit. And aspiration is just the aspiration without accumulation of merit. So this is the difference between these two, as explained by many great masters.
那但是呢，在这里虽然说是回向，这些都是愿文所以呢，我们平时能够常常这样发愿这是非常重要的。因为这些是佛菩萨的加持的金刚语所以这样的金刚语，如果我们能够念诵这些词句，比如说能够背下来这里面的4句或者8句或者12句，然后偶尔自己想到就可以念诵这个愿文，一边念诵一边打自内心的想，愿我能够真正的在将来能够做到这样的事情，愿我能够真正的当这样的饥渴或者是这样发生的时候，能够变成就是食物，能够变成这样来帮助众生。我们如果说打自内心的这样想，念一遍这个愿文的功德都是不可思议的。当然，虽然我们现在是世俗人，然后我们心中也有很多的这个五毒的烦恼，我们现在马上要变成这样是不可能的。但是呢，我们这些就是要从一个愿力开始刚开始是我们从这个心里想，要有发愿。当你这个愿力开始的时候，这个愿力在你的相续当中不断的提醒自己，不断的让自己的心就是更加的宽容，更加的能够为众生着想的时候呢，我们的心是可以训练的我们的心是完完全全可以训练的，跟我们的身体一样的。当我们一个人的身体如果是不训练，不做任何的运动的时候，你就是从早到晚就是吃废的话，我们这个身体就会变得越来越弱，越来越没有动力，就是越来越没有力气，就会变成这样。心也是一样的，如果我们不去训练我们的心的话，我们的心也是会越来越狭窄，越来越没有心力，越来越没有动力就是这样的。所以我们的身体跟心都是可以训练的。所以这里我们讲的不是身体的训练，而是主要是心的训练所以我们的心也是可以这样训练，就是我们练习这样发广大的愿力我们虽然现在做不到，希望我有一天能够做到一遍再一遍的提醒自己，一遍再一遍的这样发愿的话呢，有一天一定能够做得到的。因为佛菩萨们都是这样开始的除了普贤王如来之外，其他的诸佛菩萨都是从发菩提心这样一点一滴的积累起来，最后达到了菩萨的果位，最后达到了佛的果位所以呢，这是我们就是要训练我们自己的心这样
So here, although these are seen as just aspiration prayers in the dedication merit, but if we can often make such aspiration, this is something very important, as these verses, these aspirations are actually Vajra words with the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattva. So thereby, if you can able to memorize and recite even just 8 or 12 or 16 verses, if you're able to recite them and really think genuinely in that passion that in the future that I can accomplish this, I can accomplish this aspiration, such as that may I truly able to manifest into food when there's famine. If we are able to truly have this genuine aspiration, then the merit itself is inconceivable. Of course, as a mundane person, we have many of the mental afflictions and 5 poisons. So to be able to achieve this right now at this moment seems to be impossible. However, we are able to begin this with an aspiration. And as we continue to make aspiration, continue to remind ourselves in our mind stream, then our mind will be able to become more and more open, more forgiving, and more think of with the welfares of others. Because this mind is something that can be conditioned. It is just like our body. If our body is not conditioned, if we only just sleep and eat and sleep every day, then the body will become more and more weak and less motivated. Excuse me. It is just applied. It's the same as our mind. If we do not condition our mind, then the mind will become more and more limited and less motivated. So thereby, these 2 things are something that can be conditioned. So here, mainly, we're talking about the condition of our mind. So by conditioning, we mean by continue to aspire to make aspirations, although that we may not achieve what we aspired now, but it is something that we can achieve one day. So thereby, if we are able to continue to aspire, then one day it is something that we're able to achieve, because this is the same. This is how all the Buddha and Bodhisattva have begun as well. Except Samantabhadra Buddha, the primordial Buddha, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas began with an aspiration, began in this path, and then ultimately they have attained enlightenment of Buddhahood. So this is really how we have to train our mind.
那这以上呢，主要就是讲的是，帮助我们在相续当中升起菩提心的缘。我们所说的因跟缘里面的缘就是助缘，这以上的这些全部都是帮助我们的相续当中升起菩提心的缘助缘就是这以上这些主要是讲的助缘部分。如果我们按照这以上所讲的这些自己尽心尽力的尽自己的能力去做的话，你就具足了在相续当中升起菩提心的缘。
So the teaching presented these are the conditions to arouse bodhicitta. We know that there is cause and conditions. So these are actual conditions for us to, or supporting conditions for us to arouse bodhicitta. If we follow this teaching accordingly and dedicate our best effort to practice, then we will have fulfilled the condition for us to arouse the bodhicitta.
接下来呢是为利他修心就是为了利益一切众生修心修心是什么意思呢？修心的意思就是训练我们的心就跟修心就是训练我们的心没有别的就是训练我们的心。我们的心要怎么去训练呢？就说这里是总说一切布施，然后就是别说布施身体等等这样。那这里首先是总说就是所施这个部分。那训练心的时候，我们要练习心的时候，主要就是要练习什么呢？要练习我们心里面从无始以来有一个很强烈的东西是什么呢？就是执着就要练习它，把这个执着减轻所以这里说为利有情故，不吝尽施舍，身及诸受用，三世一切善这里就说首先就是布施。那在布施的这个里面，主要讲的要布施什么呢？布施我的身体第二个是什么呢？布施我的受用。第三个是什么呢？就是布施我的三世的一切善根。这三件东西是我们对这三件东西是执着最强的，执着最强的三件东西就是这三件。 第一件是什么？第一个就是对我们的身体，我们的身体是我们最强的执着，对我们的身体。好，第二个是什么呢？第二个就是我们的财产，我们的所有的财物受用这些全部，我们对这个的执着强。第三个这里说是一切善根，我们过去是、现在是、未来是的一切善根，这些是我们最执着的3种根呢。所以呢，现在就说布施出去，这样。
And then now we continue to the next subject of teaching. Is really the meaning the main title is for the welfare of others, to engage the practice of our mind. And by practice means to condition our mind. And there's no other definition. So how do we engage into conditioning our mind? It is the overall. So here, the overall teaching, the topic of teaching is to practice generosity. So that is the topic. So we need to engage in the practice of generosity as a method to condition our mind, because from the beginning of time, there's really a really strong thing that is in our mind stream, that is attachment. So here the practice is aimed to reduce our attachment. And as it says in the text, that for the sake of accomplishment, the welfare of all sentient beings, I freely give of my body, enjoyment, and all my virtues of 3 times. So here, by engaging the teaching of practicing generosity, it says to practice generosity or to give away, first is our own physical body, the second is our enjoyment or wealth, and then third is our virtue of the 3 times. We say these 3 things because these 3 things are the things that we are attached to the most in our mind stream. We are most attached to our own body, and then second, we are most attached to our own wealth and enjoyment, and third, we are most attached to all the virtues that we have from the past, present, and future. So these are 3 are considered the most root attachments that we have. So now we begin by conditioning our mind by practicing generosity to give them away.
那我们为什么首先就要打击我们最执着的这些东西呢？因为最执着的这些东西，就是最让我们受苦的，就是最执着的这些东西，让我们受苦的最厉害的，让我们在轮回里面永久的不让我们脱离在轮回里面的，就是这些东西。所以我们首先要打击它们。
So here, why do we need to emphasize or which say attack these 3 things? Because these 3 most things that we are attached to the most. Because these 3 things are the things that have caused us the most suffering. These things are the things that have caused us to continue to dwell in samsara. So thereby, these are the things that we need to first address and attack first.
所以当我们有了执着的时候，这个执着就是让我们永远在轮回里面漂泊执着就是让我们轮回的根源。所以呢，在这里就是首先我们要遣除掉这些执着。但是呢，我们是不是这样听一次入行论，然后呢就这样我们就可以做到这些了？完全没有办法做得到，这个不是我们说了就能够做得到的。那要怎么做呢？我们这个就要花时间一步一步的去实修在实修的过程当中，也是它有它的次第，按照次第的，首先呢要对一切众生升起这个我们所说的爱心对一切众生升起爱心。怎么样有办法呢？对一切众生升起爱心呢？我们要认知到一切众生曾经当过我们的母亲当过母亲的时候，我们为什么会有爱心呢？那我们就要认知到母亲的爱。没有母亲的话，我们从小如果是生到这个世界来的时候那我们第一刹那到这个世间的时候，我们身上一丝衣服，然后1毛钱，什么都是没有的。我们是完全就是一个裸体的，什么都没有的一个来到这个世界。如果是没有母亲的照顾， 我们的话，我们不说是能够活到这么久，而且可能1、2个月、几天都没有办法存活起来。这个是包括动物、人类，一切的母亲都是一样的。当然我们有个别的，在这个世界上有些母亲对自己的孩子没有那么的恩德，但是呢，这是只是一世一次而已，但是不是所有的都是这样的所以呢，我们就是认知到天下的一切的母亲的恩德从这里呢，就是一点一滴的积累起来这些恩德然后呢，慢慢的对一切众生产生这个爱心。当你对一切众生产生爱心的时候呢，在这个背后还有一个重点，就是要看到这些众生的无明当你看到众生的无明的时候，那个时候你才会真正的爱心才会出来。
So here, when we have attachments, these attachments are the causes that will make us continue to dwell in samsara. But does this mean that only by listening to just once this teaching, the Bodhisattva way of life, then we're able to achieve this? No, this is something that cannot only be done just by mere saying, by mere words. We actually need to take time and engage in a practice. There is a path that we need to follow, a systematic path. So first, we need to, by able to achieve this, we need to first develop having a loving attitude towards all sentient beings. Because by doing so, we need to first understand that all sentient beings have been our mother once at least once in our throughout our lives in this world, in samsara. We need to really understand or grasp the love of a mother, because we need to know that without our mother, once we are born, we didn't have anything, no clothing, nor money. We came to this world completely naked or without anything. And if it weren't for our mother, we would not last in this world, would not live, we would not thrive in several days or just a couple months. So really the kindness of our mother just includes animals and as well humans. This is something that's really something of a great kindness, what our love of our mother. Of course, there are individual mothers in the world who did not show this kind of kindness toward their children, but that just occasion of this life is not all throughout all the lives. So thereby, this is something that we need to have a really good understanding and really begin to condition our mind to have this constant reminder of ourselves. And by doing so, we're able to then develop this loving attitude towards sentient beings. And also another key important thing is that we need to see that behind this, we need to also understand and realize the ignorance of all the sentient beings. Only then by understanding their ignorance, then you will truly have this genuine loving attitude for them.
所以呢，我们刚刚讲就是知母，然后就是知母，然后念恩，然后就是报恩这样的心态，这些是一步一步的要去按照次第去修的。然后在这个过程当中呢，我刚刚讲，如果我们不知道众生的无明的话，那个真正的慈悲还是很难生起来。这是怎么说呢？因为对你有恩德的一个人，然后呢，他很想从痛苦中脱离，但是呢，他做的一切事情都是让他痛苦的。你看到这个的时候，你就是打自内心的会产生一种慈悲心对这些众生他真正的确是他的行为，他的言行全部都是颠倒的，所以呢，我更加的应该要帮助这个人如果不帮助的话，他本来他的想法是不是这样，但是他完全就是颠倒在做当你看到这样的时候呢，就是更加的打自内心升起慈悲心，就好像我们看到有些这个精神病的人或者是有些父母亲的孩子就是得了精神病，或者就得了这个比较严重的病的时候，他们的心里面有多么强烈的念头，想要把他的孩子的病治好就是一样的道理。众生的无明就是一个病，所以呢，那个时候呢这个你的慈悲心就一心想要把这些众生的无明的这个病呢治好
So here we need to first, this is the teaching of understanding that all sentient beings have been once our mother, and recognizing their kindness, and also try to attempt to repay their kindness. This is the systematic level of teachings regarding to arouse, to condition our mind. And also, I just mentioned that that when you will only have genuine loving attitude or loving compassion once you have recognized the ignorance of sentient beings. This is because when you see someone who have understanding that when you see someone who have showed you great kindness and great love, and yet you see them that they are constantly suffering and constantly in an ignorant state, that they are hurting themselves, that they want something, but they are doing something completely opposite. When you see that, then you will just have this arouse this really genuine compassion for these sentient beings, for these people. And it's just like for the parents who have children who are suffering mental illness. When these children are constantly having these mental illness issues, that the parents want to cure that with a really strong urge or strong motivation to bring cure or bring aids for their children. This is similar, that when you see these sentient beings, they're afflicted with the sickness of ignorance, you will want to bring them cure and bring them happiness.
所以在这里的4句，为利有情故，不吝尽施舍，身己诸受用，三世一切善。这4句大家也可以背下来啊，就是常常可以念诵发愿，就愿我能够真正的有一天能够做到这样啊。其实我们不管在开车的时候也好，上班的时候也好，任何时候，或者是尤其是我们在一些这个很有加持力的佛像面前呢，或是很有加持的圣山呢，或是上升高僧大德面前呢，大家就这样一心的发愿这样的话呢，有一天真的是可以将为了一切众生失去布施一切对，这样。
So here, these verses, we can memorize them and recite them time to time, and so that one day we remember that one day we're able to achieve this, whether it's driving or at work or anytime, especially when we attempt to make aspiration in front of sacred statues or mountains or great masters, as they have immense blessing. Once we make such aspiration, then we are able to truly one day able to practice generosity and give all these things away for sentient beings.
这里我们大家共同的念诵3遍在法王如意宝的面前，大家一心的想，我有一天希望我能够做到这样先念这个中文的，然后呢英文的就 Harrison 带领念一下
Okay, so here now we're gonna recite 3 times this verse in front of His Holiness Jimmy Rinpoche, that one day that you have a just genuine thinking that one day I can achieve this. So first will be led by in Chinese and then English.
为利有情故，不吝尽施舍，身己诸受用，三世一切善。为利有情故，不吝尽施舍，身己诸受用，三世一切善。为利有情故，不吝尽施舍，身己诸受用，三世一切善。
For the sake of accomplishing the welfare of all sentient beings, I freely give up my body, enjoyment, and all my virtues of 3 times. For the sake of accomplishing the welfare of all sentient beings, I freely give up my body, enjoyment, and all my virtues of the 3 times. For the sake of accomplishing the welfare of all sentient beings, I freely give up my body, enjoyment, and all my virtues of the 3 times.
接下来呢说原因就是原因是什么呢？为什么我们要将自己的身体受用以及3世的善根要布施给众生呢？这里说舍尽则脱苦， 悟心成涅槃，此时既须舍，何苦生尽失？就这4句来解释。
So here we continue on the teaching that this continue the reasons why do we need to engage practice of generosity to give these things away. And here it says that surrender everything is nirvana, and my mind seeks nirvana. If I must surrender everything, it is better that I give it to sentient beings.
这里说，首先就是说，我们就从第2句要来思维。怎么说呢？首先就是理由嘛，因为我死亡的时候，这些不管怎么样都会舍去，我的生命也会舍去，我的财富也会舍去，所以不然我现在就一切就是布施给众生。那布施给众生的话，可以帮助脱离痛苦，也可以帮助成就涅槃。那为什么不舍呢？所以这个的意义就很大了。如果我不摄取我的这些，然后对身体和这些一切的产生执着的话，不但没有办法帮助我成就涅槃、脱离痛苦，而且更加的让我在这个轮回里这承受这个痛苦。所以呢，这里就说舍身一切受用，不如现在就一切就舍给一切众生，这样可以利益自己，也利益他人，自利利他。
So here the English version seems to be not missed out one of the reasons. So the reason is that the reason that we should surrender everything, because not only that we surrender everything is nirvana, but when we have died, there's something. These are all the things that we have to surrender anyway, because once we have died, then these things will be no use of us. So by giving away these things, not only I can attain nirvana and benefit sentient beings, because it will be no use to me once I die, once I pass away. So thereby, these are things that we need to give away, so to benefit ourselves as well as others. Because if we continue to have these attachment to these things, not only we're not able to attain nirvana, it will cause us to continue to dwell in samsara.
然后下面呢就是无条件的布施，无条件而布施这里是分别的，就是布施身体。这样说，勿计将此身随意施有情，一任被欢喜恒常打骂杀。在这里就这个是当我们身体已经布施给众生的时候呢，已经布施给有情了，我们这个身体就是属于有情的就是众生的，属于他们的。不管是他们喜欢、爱好、珍惜也好，或者是恒常打骂杀也好，我就再也不对这个产生任何的执着去说这个你为什么要打，有时候要骂，这样生气喷烦了不应当这样，应该就是完完全全的对我的这个身体的执着就是遣除这样。
So here it says that now is the next to practice generosity without any predetermined condition. So for the sake of all beings, I have made this body pleasureless. Let them continually beat it, revile it, and cover it with filth. So here it says that once we have practiced the generosity of our body by giving our body away, this body belongs to sentient beings, no longer belongs to us. Whether they cherish it or they beat it, or cover it with filth, etc., I will no longer have attachment toward them, so that we thereby completely eliminate our attachment towards our own body.
众人惜我身，亲会并讥讽，吾身即已失，云何复珍惜？一切无害业，敛身尽顺受。这里就是对我的身体，他们要就是讽刺也好，侮辱也好，不管怎么样，我的身体已经布施给他们了，所以尽他们，这就是要怎么样去使用就随便他们吧。 就是这样的意思。这两段的话，可能就说对一般的人而言，这可能是一个非常难的，就是比较难以就是接受的一件事情。但是呢，在这里主要就是这样讲的原因呢，主要就是为了遣除对身体的执着对身体的执着我们这里一旦的强调，就是因为执着而产生烦恼，因为烦恼而产生痛苦所以呢，这个我们的根源就是执着。当我们现在根本做不到这样，但是呢，当有一天我们一步一步的去修这个菩提心的时候，有一天真正的我们能够做到这样，不管别人打骂侮辱我们的身体，我们都可以就是坦然的接受，然后呢不生任何的烦恼是可以的。就以前我跟大家讲过一个故事，在藏地的一位大德，他在这个文革的期间呢，他每天就是要好像我们这边现在的人上班一样的，每天要就是带去这个斗争所谓的斗争就是批斗骂这样。然后他早上一早起来就是发菩提心，就说愿我今天承受的这些痛苦能够遣除掉一切众生的痛苦，然后就灾难，然后早上他就发菩提心。然后呢，到那边被殴打的，然后批斗的过程当中，他就一直安住在这个发菩提心，对这些殴打他的人，然后就是批斗他的人发慈悲心因为他们是无明，然后因为他们是被五毒完完全全控制的，所以他们完全被五毒控制在做这样的事情，他们是更可怜的，所以对他们发慈悲心，晚上回来做回向就是这样，一直就是这样修。所以当一个人修到那样的境界的时候，他已经把身体上的执着完全没有了，所以这是完全可以做得到的。因为这个后来文革之后，有人就是去拜访这个大德的时候，就说就跟他忏悔说，我曾经这样做过，真的是就是很忏悔这样。他说没有，其实你们帮助我了很多，因为这样的一个批斗，这样让我真正的在相续当中产生了就是很好的菩提心。其实我在这个过程当中积累了很多的资粮就是这样。所以呢，我们这里讲的也许会觉得这个有点太过分吧我的身体让他们玩弄怎么样弄都不生气，但是不是这样的。如果真正的一个修行者的话，任何的这个恶劣的对境都是他修行的一个阻力。
So here it says, continue, let them play with my body, let them laugh at it and ridicule it. What does it matter to me? I have given my body to them. So here, this verse, it may seem to be something that's really kind of hard to accept by most people, that they would allow people just laugh and ridicule at them without doing anything. But here, the main reason or the main meaning is for this verse is to allow us to let us to eliminate our attachment towards our own body. So, of course, right now, at this moment, this is something impossible for us to do so. But as one day, as we continue to engage in the practice of bodhicitta, as we continue to practice, then will we come to the day that whether if someone curse us, beat us, or hurt our own body, then we are able to completely accept it without any sense of mental attachment or affliction. I have told you a story of a great master in Tibet during the time of Cultural Revolution, that he had to be criticized or to bring on trial every day, just like how we go to work. So thereby, in the morning, when he wake up, he will practice arousing bodhicitta to arouse bodhicitta in his mind stream. And during the trial, as the people continue to beat him and curse him, his mind have always remained in the state of bodhicitta and develop compassion towards those who have beaten him or cursed them, because he knows that these people are really controlled by their own mental affliction, by their own 5 poisons. So they are people who are more pitiful. And then at night, after the trial, he will practice the dedication of merit. So this has been going on as days throughout the revolution. And and he's able to do so because this person, or if a person has achieved that level of practice, then he no longer have a sense of attachment towards his own body. And then, so thereby many years after the Cultural Revolution, someone who have heard him during the revolution actually came to him and confessed for what he had done to him. And yet, but then what he replied was saying that, no, you did not hurt me at all. You actually have helped me a lot to accumulate much merit. So here, by looking at this verse, you may think that this is something that's too much for a person to accept, for someone to just do whatever they want with our own body, to laugh and ridicule. But as a true practitioner, everything that the practitioner experiences can be used as a support for the practice.
所以呢，我们在修行的过程当中，有时候会遇到一些违缘呐，或者逆境呐，这样的时候，如果能够有一个正知正念，马上可以认知的话，其实我们的修行是可以加快的就是加快速度的上升的。因为平时也没有人责备我们，平时大家都是恭恭敬敬的，然后平时大家都是好言好语的对待你的时候，好像是变成菩萨一样，一点那个愤怒，一点这个情绪都没有，还是自己觉得说我自己修行很好，但是不是的。当你遇到逆境的时候，你再观察一下，你真正的是不是有菩提心。当你遇到有人说一些对你不好的话，或者有人说一些对你就是刺激你、伤害你的话的时候，这个时候你观察一下自己是不是有愤怒，是不是马上要反驳对方，是不是马上要跟对方就是对干这样的话所以如果是有的话，那你真的之前那个根本不是菩提心，没有修，只是你没有遇到对境而已这样的。所以当真正的遇到这样的情况下，可以自己马上就认知到因为现在这个是一个正好的机会让我修忍辱的时候，然后这是一个正好的一个对境来考验我就是修了这么多年的这个佛法所以在我的相续当中有没有菩提心这是一个考验呢，我这次这个考试一定要考过所以这样就是一边祈祷上师三宝，一边呢就是这样发心的话一次一次的你的心量会越来越大，你的菩提心就是很快速的会增长的。所以我们在遇到对境的时候，修行是非常非常重要的，尤其是我们在这个世界上，大家在工作的环境也好，或者就人与人之间的这些这个沟通的时候，也是非常非常的重要这样的时候呢，我们能够对对方有一些忍辱，然后呢对对方发起一些慈悲这样的时候呢，就我们的修行上是有很大的进展的。
So thereby, if we're able to, by engage in the condition of our mind, once we have encountered certain difficulty, if we are able to become mindful of that situation, then our practice can be enhanced. It can be further developed more, because during the time when there's no one to criticize us, and then everybody treats us with manner and kind words, it seems that at that point, we don't have any mental affliction. It almost seems that we have become bodhisattva, and we think that we are great practitioners. However, it is the moment that we encounter difficulty or hardship, then we can assess whether or not our mind stream have bodhicitta or not. And that is why if in a situation where somebody says something hurtful to us, we really need to observe our mind stream, whether we have anger and whether we want to refute and challenge back. If there is, then that means that we have not yet aroused this genuine bodhicitta in our mind stream. And at that moment also, you need to also recognize that is just a trial for you, a test for you to see how far as our practice has been gone through, how far has it been developed in our practice of bodhicitta, and recognize that is that time for us. It is an opportunity for us to engage in a practice of patience as well as bodhicitta. So thereby, we need to, at that moment, at that time, we need to pray to our Guru Three Jewels and continue to engage in practice of patience and bodhicitta. especially nowadays in the work environment. This is something very important among the work environment as well as communication between people. So thereby, it is important for us to engage in the practice of patience and have compassion toward those who have caused us hardship. And by doing so, it will allow us to enhance our path of practice.
然后下面一句是愿比缘我者悉获众利益。这个就是又是另外一个愿文了。这个愿文呢，就是只要是因为我而接触到的任何的一个众生，都希望他们得利，不管是我们对我的身体的碰触，或者对我的语言上的我们的一些接触，或是意念上的一些接触，任何一个众生希望能够得到利益。这就是我们所说的菩萨们的愿力，就是这样。它这里包括的接触，这里是不管是下面有了，不管是用好的接触也好，不好的接触都一样的，只要是能够接触我的、接上我的，都希望他们能够得利益这样。
And then the next verse is that let them have me perform deeds that are conducive to their happiness. Whoever resorts to me, may it never be in vain. So here it says that this expiration means that anyone who came in contact with me or resorts to ourselves in any connection, whether it's positive or negative, that we aspire them, may them to obtain benefit and to be enlightened.
下面就是广说，他说：若人因见我生起信增心，愿必恒成为承办众利因。然后就说愿必毁我者，给予害我者，乃至辱我者，皆具菩提缘。这就是菩萨的愿力。菩萨的愿力里面，并不是说对我好的人，愿我能够度化他们，或者尊敬我的人，我才度化他们，或是喜欢我的人，我才去度化他们，不是的。不管是喜欢我的人也好，不喜欢我的人也罢，尊敬我的人也好，不尊重我的人也罢，只要是众生我一切都愿意能够去度化他们。希望只要是接触我的人，我都能够希望我能帮助到他们。这个就是为什么之前我们在这个课堂里面，我是在第一品里面吧，好像是说菩萨跟菩萨结缘的话，能够结上善缘的话，当然是最好。但是就算结了恶缘，有一天这个菩萨还是会度化你成佛。就是因为为什么是这样呢？因为菩萨的愿力就是这样。
So here it says that for those who have resorted to me and have an angry or unkind thought, may they even that always be the cause for their accomplishing every goal. May those who falsely accuse me, harm me, and who ridicule me all partake of awakening. So this is the aspiration of the Bodhisattvas. It is not just limited to those who took a liking to them. It is actually everyone, whether they are people that like them or not, whether people that respect them or not. Anyone who shares the connection of the Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva will make it's all included in the Bodhisattva aspiration to benefit them. So thereby, this is also, we mentioned in the first chapter that to able to share with a connection with the Bodhisattva, of course, having a positive connection is good. But even with a negative connection or a negative karmic connection, you will one day also be liberated and attain enlightenment, because that is the aspiration of the Bodhisattva.
下面是回向，成为利众之因。路人无护依，愿为必引导，并作度者舟，传法以强疗。这里也许我们会觉得，为什么一个菩萨要做这么小小的事情呢？但是不是的，菩萨他们是不管是 任何众生只要可以帮助他们一点点他都会花时间去做的所以呢，路人如果是走错路，然后没有方向，这样的话，愿我能够变成他们的引导者，引导他们走向正确的道路的引导者然后呢，有些人在渡这个火、渡这个海，或是渡这个很大的河，这样的时候呢，没有船愿我能变成船如果没有桥梁的地方，愿我能变成桥梁。连这么小小的利益，菩萨都在愿力里面能为帮众生做这样。我们知道有一个叫做通通加波通通加波就是常常造桥就有很多很多的桥梁，就是通通加波造。在西藏也有，在不丹也有，就是用铁链它用造的很多桥，这些都是在历史上也很有名的通通加波的桥这样所以菩萨们是只要利益或是能够帮助众生的事情，不管大的事情也好，小的事情也好，他们都会去做。
Here it says, may I be a protector for those who are without protectors, a guide for travelers, and a boat, a bridge, and a ship for those who wish to cross over. So here we may ask, why do Bodhisattva need to do such small things? So it says that if people who are lost, we become a guide for those who are lost. If someone is passing through an ocean or river without a boat, the Bodhisattva aspire that may I become a boat. If there's no bridge, then we become a bridge. So and also we know that there's this great master, Dongdong Japo, who constructed many bridges in Tibet throughout history using metal chain. It is common in Tibet as well as Bhutan. So here we can see that the great bodhisattvas, they will do anything that will benefit sentient beings, whether it's something big or something small, and anything. These things they are very willing to do.
下一个就是求导即成导，欲灯化为灯，密床变成床，变作床，凡须仆从，是的，仆从者，我愿成必仆这里又是一个愿力。这里是求导即成导，就是以前，现在是没有，现在的那个船只都很快速的。很早期的时候是那么去寻宝的那些到海里面的话，就是上几个月或是上年，就是在海里面寻岛的时候呢，他们会很欲望、很欲求，想看到这个岛屿所以让他们心里就好像我们所说的 homesick， 有些人就很心里就是很这个想念、思念这个岛屿，这样的时候呢，心里会很痛苦。所以就是菩萨们就是发愿说，如果有这样的情况发生的时候，愿我能够变成岛屿就是解除他们心里的痛苦欲灯如果是没有灯，在黑暗当中看不到道路这样的情况下，愿我能够变成灯来照亮、照明他们的这个前面。然后密床，这里说是床，其实就说住处也是可以说是住处了就是没有住处的这个人，他们在寻求住处的话，愿我变成他们的床或者他们的住处。或是有些人需要一些这个就是帮助他们的仆人或者侍者等等的这样的话，愿我能够帮助变成仆人或者侍者来服侍一切众生这样。
So here the next verse is that may I be a lamp for those who seek light, a bed for those who seek rest, and may I be a servant for all beings who desire servant. So here the English translation did not include the first one, which is the island. So may I become an island for those who seek that. So for the island, it means that because nowadays it's not common, but because the ships nowadays are very fast. But back in the days, for those who take on a journey or voyage on ship, it goes on a month, and then during the journey, they really would want eager to see an island to take a rest. So thereby, the Bodhisattva aspire to become that island to relieve their suffering if needed. And also here to aspire to become a lamp for those who needs a lamp, and also a bed for those who need a bed, who seek rest. The bed also means like a living shelter or living home, living space. And also aspire to be a servant who needs a servant to so that Bodhisattva will become a servant to benefit these sentient beings.
愿成如意牛，妙品如意宝，明咒及灵药，如意珠宝树，如意牛，这些我们都是在那个供养里面，我们都常常会37这个曼扎拉里面会念到的，就是如意牛如意的宝瓶如意树等等的这些，这些就是如意牛的话，我们欲求什么都可以从这里得到的如意宝瓶，这样愿我能够变成这样来满足这些一切众生的心愿他们想要得到的宝珠、莫尼宝等等的就是愿我能够满足他们这样。
So here, to all sentient beings, may I be a wish-fulfilling gem, a vase of good fortune, an efficacious mantra, a great medication, a wish-fulfilling tree, and a wish-granting cow. So these are all things that we can see or recite in these 37 mandala offering in the practice. So these wish-granting cow, vase, trees, these are all the things that are able to grant us what we wish for, so that the Bodhisattva aspire to become these things to fulfill the wish of their sentient beings.
接下来是如空即四大，愿我恒成为无量众有情，滋生大根本就愿我能够变成如同大地或者虚空一般的恒实为一切有情众生就是存在的根本一样。愿我能以为这个无量的愿我以众多形象作为无量众生来以生存的因就是这里就是说，总之这些愿望就是我们仔细的看的话，没有什么看不懂的。总之就是任何不管是大的小的事情就是像这个我们外在的情器世间里面的，或者内在的有情众生的方式，不管是任何一个方法，只要是能够帮助到众生，只要是能够解除众生的痛苦的方法，有些是暂时的，有些是就近的，那这全部都是在菩萨的愿力里面所以这全部都这菩萨就是发愿能够利有情众生就是这样的愿力。
So here it reads that just as earth and other elements are useful in various ways to innumerable sentient beings dwelling throughout infinite space, and here so may I be in various ways a source of life for all sentient beings present through space until they're all liberated. So here it says in the verse to become a space for sentient beings to dwell, such as earth or this ground, and to become infinite manifestation for all sentient beings to live and thrive. So here, these things are not something that we cannot understand by words. So they're very self-explained by reading them. But so here, the overall is that whether it's something external or internal, in any manner, as long as it can benefit sentient beings, whether the benefit can be temporary or ultimate benefit, these are all included in the Bodhisattva's aspiration.
待至净空界，有情种种界，胜除悉涅盘，愿成之生因。这里呢主要就是直到这些众生成佛之前，他们都需要帮助。直到众生如果是成佛了以后，就不需要帮助他们了，他们已经完完全全的脱离痛苦了。所以这个愿力就是直到众生还没有成佛之前，愿我能够变成就是任何的形象，任何可以帮助他们的方法，我都去发愿能够帮助他们这些一切众生。 有些时候是暂时的这些，然后慢慢的接近啊，这个让他们脱离最究竟的这个痛苦，然后得到最究竟的果位啊，这就是这个所有的愿力。所以这以上呢，就叫做真正的它的内容上来说的话，这些我们所说的就是发愿的这愿心，菩提心里面，我们上次讲了一个愿菩提心或行菩提心里面的，主要是讲的就是愿菩提心的部分。
So here it says again that so may I be in various ways a source of life for the sentient beings present throughout space until they are all liberated. So this verse, it means that until all sentient beings have attained enlightenment, they will always need help. And then the aspiration of Bodhisattva, they will always continue to benefit them. Sometimes it may be temporary, sometimes it may be for ultimate, temporary such that will bring them closer to enlightenment. So these are all the aspiration of bodhicitta. These are the teaching of the aspiration of bodhicitta. Previously, we have talked about the aspiration and application of bodhicitta. Here, I mainly talk about the aspiration.
所以在这里我们今天讲的这个愿力或者是回向，这些里面有很多都是好像平时我们可以就想的时候好像是非常非常难做到的一些事情，比如说我们舍弃自己的身体啦，或是身体布施给众生，让他们殴打或是骂怎么的我不去管等等的，这些好像是一个非常非常难做到的一件事情但是呢，我们如果是在慢慢的去修菩提心的时候，我们修就是遣除我们的执着的时候的话，慢慢的我们是可以做得到的，这些都是可以做得到的。尤其是当我们这里一开始就是把我们最没有办法接受的这个东西突破以后，那以后呢突破一下的话，我们在真正执行的过程当中的话，小的事情我们就是慢慢的可以接受了。比如说现在我们没有办法真正的别人突然就是骂你或者殴打你，我们没有办法接受。但是呢，也许在平时跟人与人沟通的过程当中，有一些不合理的事情呢，或者有一些不讲道理的事情呢，或者让就是你对你的一些批评的事情呢，这样的话，也许我们在这个时候马上回顾，我是一个大乘的修行者，我是已经发过菩提心的人，在这样的时候，我不是要谴责或是批评对方为什么这样不讲理，为什么对方是这样批评我，我不是应该往外看，我是应该要往内看这个时候就要提醒自己，往内看，看什么呢？看我能不能够在这个当下可以撑得住，然后呢，在这个当下可不可以修这个忍辱？这个当下可不可以为对方升起慈悲心？那我觉得为什么要对对方升起慈悲心呢？他不讲理，然后他还这个无理的就是骂我，或者是无理的批评我，为什么要升起菩提心呢？这个时候你就要知道，对方无理的批评或者无理的骂你的原因在哪里？原因是什么呢？原因是因为对方被五毒控制了。对方已经被五毒完完全全的控制了，所以他那个五执膨胀起来的时候，五毒膨胀起来的时候，他没有办法控制，没有办法控制他心里面产生的这些嗔恨心的时候，对方也是完全不会快乐的。所以呢，你要这方面去想，然后因为他不懂佛法，或者是就算懂也没有办法修成那样是可怜的对境，所以呢，自己在这个时候就要为对方升起慈悲心然后呢，不管对方是不讲理的也好，或者无理的批评也好这个时候自己观察一下自己，我看一下我能不能够接受，不但能够接受，而且我能不能够对对方发起慈悲心就是这样时常这样观察。当我们这样一边观察一边去实修这样的时候，那我们的这个心胸就会越来越宽广，然后我们对众生的慈悲心也会越来越大。当这样的时候，其实你就到最后的时候，任何一个人你都是可以接受的，在你的这个环境里面，或是在你的这个相续当中，没有一个人你不能接受的。就算是一个非常恶劣的或者非常 没有办法跟任何一个人容纳的一个人，在你的环境里面你可以接受的最后呢，会就变成这样。
So here today we have talked about these aspirations as well as dedication to merit. So although some of these aspirations may seem like something very hard to do, such as to engage practice of generosity to give our body away, although it may seem like something difficult, but as we're able to continue engage in the practice of bodhicitta and to eliminate our attachment, this is something achievable, especially if we're able to really break through on the thing that we cannot accept the most, then everything else will be a lot easier to handle if we're able to achieve the prior one, the first one. For example, if there's times when people that are attacking us or hurting us through words or actions, although that this is something that we cannot accept, but but then at that moment, if you're able to truly remind yourself that you're a Mahayana practitioner, that you should always not to look external to try to have a criticize back or do something external, but always to look inside towards our mind. We need to look inside. We need to observe ourselves, our own mind, whether or not we're able to endure this, whether or not we're able to practice patience and develop compassion towards that person. So and then here we may then begin to ask, why do we need to have compassion towards someone who is criticizing or hurting us? The reason is that because this person that is criticizing or hurting you, this is someone who has been controlled by the 5 poison. Once the 5 poison have activated in their mind stream, they cannot control it, and they are only their actions are only led by through their own anger and mental afflictions, and they are not happy either. So if you're able to have this kind of train of thoughts in your mind stream this way, because you realize that these are people who don't understand the teaching of Buddha Dharma, or they have not yet attained to that level, this is someone that needs pitiful, someone that's you should have a compassion towards too. If you're able to continue to engage in the practice in this manner, then we continue to see if in occasions where someone is criticizing or makes no sense to what they're doing to you, if we are able to continue to observe in our mind whether or not we can accept this and develop compassion, then as we continue to engage in doing so, our mind will become more and more open. Our compassion will become more and more larger. And in the end is that you can able to accept everyone. There's nothing that you cannot no longer accept. You can accept everything and everyone.
所以呢，在这样的情况下，如果是遇到这样的对境的时候，自己也没有办法接受对方的，然后呢，就是跟对方就是有一些不愉快争执的话，那就你跟对方完全一样的不管你是修行了几十年或是几百年的人没有关系，你跟对方的层次完全一样。因为对方升起那个嗔恨心的时候，你也升起了嗔恨心；对方不修忍辱，你也没有在修忍辱，所以就是完全就是在一个层次。所以在一个层次的时候，就是没有办法容纳了就是这样的。但是呢，如果是自己能够提醒自己，这样能够修忍辱，这样的话，那你的修行就增长了，那你的层次就比对方高一层了，因为你是站在一个更高的位置在看事情，而不是跟对方平衡的看事情如果是跟对方平衡的看事情的时候，两个就会碰撞起来。但是你再用高度，什么叫做高度呢？用佛菩萨的这样的一个发心或者这样的一个境界去看事情的时候，去看这个事情的时候，那你就在更高的一个层次看事情。当你在更高的一个层次看事情的时候，那这个事情就完全会改变的所以呢，这些都是我们要一步一步的去实修的。
So here, if we are in the situation we encounter certain person who are hurting or criticizing us, in such situation, if we cannot accept that and we begin to have argument or any kind of like retaliation, then you're exactly the same as that person. It doesn't matter how many years you have practiced Buddha Dharma, you're at the same level as that person. The other person is having anger, and so are you. The other person is not practicing patience, and so are you. So you're able, if you're able to really remind yourself to have patience, to develop patience at that time, then you have become a level higher than that person, because you are seeing things on a higher level. If you remain in the same level as this person, then there will be clashes, there will be issues. But if you're able to put yourself in a higher level such as the level of the Buddhas and Bodhisattva, then you're able to see things differently. And once you're at that level, your perspective will change. So thereby, this is something that really takes time to engage in the practice of.
所以我们一般在世间上都说站得高看得远，所以这里我们也可以利用这个词站得高看得远。站得高是什么呢？我们要站在比较高的境界看事情什么高的境界呢？就是佛菩萨的这些境界，我们的见解比较高的地方去看事情的时候呢这样的时候我们就遇到这些比较有挑战性的对境的时候，我们就完全可以解决我们可以不但可以解决，而且呢会变成我们修行的一个动力可以增加我们的信心，也可以增加我们修行的这个速度。
So here, there's always a saying in the world that if you stand higher, then you're able to see farther. So here we can also use this saying as well. We need to really stand on a higher level, the level of the Buddhas and Bodhisattva, to see things. And then, so thereby when we encounter issues or challenges, we're able to resolve them and resolve them in the right way. Not only we're able to resolve them, we will also really enhance our motivation towards our practice, and our progress and our path of practice will progress as well. So this is something very important.
所以这样一来的话呢，是真正的可以减轻很多我们自己的痛苦，也可以减轻很多对方的痛苦。就是慢慢的话，大家都可以进入一个真正的修行的道路，最终就是成佛。
Then by doing so, you're able to really reduce the suffering of yourself and as well as suffering of others. And then everybody will then gradually enter the path of practice, which ultimately leads to enlightenment.
当然在这个过程当中，我们除了慈悲之外还要智慧，还需要智慧。有很多事情我们只是单单的慈悲，没有智慧去处理的话也许不会很好所以呢在这个过程当中呢一方面我们要发广大的慈悲心，另外一方面呢用智慧要慢慢的引导这样一来的话，就是我们智悲双运来修。
Of course, throughout this process, we not only need compassion, but we also need wisdom as well. There are many things that if we only have compassion, but without wisdom, then it cannot be resolved properly. So thereby, on one hand, we would need compassion, and then such that, and then on the other hand, we need wisdom. So that is a union of compassion and wisdom.
所以今天我们就讲到这里，早上的课。
So here we conclude today's morning teaching.
那接下来大家有什么问题的话，我们可以做一个问答的时间。
So right now, Q&A session. If you have any questions, we can do some question and answering. 你看。普贤如来不是菩萨，对。因为普贤如来是第一刹那他就
认知了，所以他就成佛了。他没有经过像一般的这样，首先刚开始发菩提心，因为普贤如来哈，普贤如来是所有的佛里面从来没有迷惑过的一个佛。对对对，不是，这里跟忏悔对境，我刚刚讲的是没有关系的。对对对，我刚刚主要讲的就是说，所有的诸佛菩萨都是从发菩提心，然后就是一步一步的往上修的，除了普贤王如来之外。那我们忏悔的时候，经常也是念普贤王如来，跟这有系统的他的这个不同的这个。你可以忏悔的时候，通常密宗里面忏悔是金刚萨埵。金刚萨埵，呀。
So the question is that you mentioned that we need to condition our mind by to make aspirations. So this is like a beginning step for all Buddhas and Bodhisattva. They all begin by aspiration. And you mentioned that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattva are the same way except Samantabhadra Buddha, the primordial Buddha. And so why is that? The answer is that the primordial Samantabhadra Buddha attained enlightenment after the first moment, the first instant. So this is the only Buddha who never had experience of ignorance. And then the question leads on that, but sometimes we do confession practice with supplements or supplication to the Samantabhadra Buddha. But the answer is that you can do so, but then in terms of confession in the Vajrayana path, the main Buddha we supplement to is the Vajrasattva.
我也请说。OK。
You mentioned the question is that you mentioned the example of the Great Master in Cultural Revolution, where during the trial he experienced many abuse and physical harms, and then after the revolution, a person who abused them actually came to him and confessed. But the question is that if the Great Master did not accept his confession, does this person still need to experience the consequence of his action because of karma?
我想第一个就是那个高僧大德他不是没有接受忏悔，他是接受忏悔，但是同时他就说只是这样说了，这是一个。但是呢，另外一个就是那个对方是他因为因果不许嘛，他是一定会要承受他所做的这些业力的之后果报的，但是呢，终将因为这是个菩萨，可能也会度化他这样。
I think first it's not. I think the Great Master did accept the confession, and also but then for this person who caused the harm, because of the principle of karma, that person will have to endure the consequence of his action. But in the end, he will be liberated because he's included in this Great Master's because he has a connection with this Great Master who is a Bodhisattva.
你来请说。对。
The question is if for someone to practice generosity of physical body without any suffering, do you have to can you only do that once you have reached the first bhumi of bodhisattva, or does it mean that as long as you have a corporeal body, you will have to endure the physical suffering, or is it something that you don't need to experience if you have achieved a certain level of meditation state?
通常是在佛经里面讲的是依地菩萨要真正的布施身体。那布施身体的部分就是说，比如说是以前的那些大菩萨们布施自己的眼睛啊，或者布施身体的某一个部分，这样出去要割的，这样的话是一定要依地菩萨。依地菩萨的时候呢，对身体的这个痛苦就没有了，没有这个对身体的任何的痛苦。所以呢，他这个时候的就不会产生这个后悔之心，主要是为了这个。但是呢，也有以前的那些还没有达到依地菩萨，但是这个就是愿力很强的人的话，他也不会退失他的信心，不管再怎么痛，他也不会退失信心，也有布施的。基本上的话，比较保险的就是说要布施身体、眼睛这样的话就是依地菩萨。这样是比较按照佛经里面讲的是这样。
So in the sutra, it's often mentioned that only those who attain the first bhumi of the bodhisattva level can practice generosity, giving away their own physical body, such as great masters before they practice generosity by giving up their own eyes and their own body parts, such that they have to cut them out. So by the time you have reached first bhumi, then you will have no suffering of this physical body, and you will have shown no regrets. But there are also certain cases with those with strong aspiration that although they engage in the practice of, although they have not attained first bhumi, but they did practice giving away their own body parts, and they did not regret it. But here, to be conservative, you basically have to reach the level of first bhumi of bodhisattva in order to truly practice the generosity of giving away our own body.
然后所谓的布施这些都是我们要训练的。如果不训练的话，我们完全任何都做不到的。以前的高僧大德们就教导弟子怎么训练布施呢？因为我们对自己的身体就不用讲了，就是执着是非常强的对自己的受用的执着也是很强的。所以一刚开始以前的高僧大德们训练弟子的时候是怎么训练呢？就是拿一把菜在左手，然后就是放到右手说我给你，然后就是右手再放到左手给你，然后就是这样放来放去，从这样开始训练就最基本。这样训练的时候呢，你对这一把菜的执着就越来越减轻，最后你可以把这一把菜不是左手放右手，而是可以给一个完全跟你的身体没有关系的另外一个人。那这一个人也是刚开始你要训练，也许你没有办法给一个你的仇人就是或者仇人就不用说了，就是你不认识的一个人，就仇人就更不用说了，你没有办法给。但是刚开始怎么样？刚开始你可以布施你最爱的人，你最喜欢的人就是这些，你就是可以布施。然后慢慢就扩散到你完全不认识的人这样一点一点的开始就是训练的时候呢，就最后你就是任何就算你的仇人，你也可以布施了你也可以做布施这样的。这些就是一个训练。然后我们刚刚讲的这个修这个慈悲心的对境也是一样的。我们刚开始我们没有办法对一个杀父之仇这样的仇人升起慈悲心，是不可能的，一般人是做不到的。但是呢，要怎么样修呢？就是刚开始对自己最亲近的人对自己身边最近的人开始发慈悲心。因为对这些的话，你没有发慈悲心，本来就对他们有一些爱心，有一些善心存在，所以在这个基础上加强是比较容易的所以从这个上面 不管你是最爱你的父亲、母亲，或是你的另一半，或是你的孩子从这个基础上开始发这个慈悲心，一点一点的积累，然后慢慢扩散到不认识的人，最后扩散到就算是自己的仇人，我也可以发慈悲心这样。
So the practice of generosity is something that we have to condition, something we have to practice. If we don't practice, then we cannot achieve really the genuine practice of generosity. So the how Great Master before how they taught students to practice generosity is that since we really have such a strong attachment towards our own body and our own wealth and enjoyment, Great Masters taught their students began by first telling the student to take a bun of veggie and give from the left hand to the right or one hand to another. As they continue to practice, as they gradually train their mind, then they're able to give this bun of veggie to someone. And then to someone also needs to be conditioned. It's not just anyone. First, you wouldn't give someone that you really despise or someone you don't know. It would start by you giving this to someone you love. And then gradually it'll lead to someone that you don't really know. And then finally it's someone that you despise. And this is something that it's a gradual path of training. And also we mentioned the practice of compassion earlier too. This is also follows the same pattern, same manner. In the beginning, it is impossible for us to have compassion towards someone who we hate, such as someone who has killed our father. So really it has to begin to someone we love the most, someone close to us. Because for those we love the most, without compassion, there's already a certain level of love towards them. So it's easier to enhance your compassion based on that basis. Whether it's your parents, your significant other, or your children, it is easier to start at that point. And then gradually you lead to someone you don't know, and then gradually to someone who you despise.
请说。一直造业。
So the question is that we know that this session really talks about the topic of training of our mind. And so my question is also a common question by many Dharma friends. So it says that on the verse that for the sake of all being, I've made this body pleasureless, let them continually beat it, revile it, and cover it with filth, etc. So we know from the point of training of our mind, this is the practice that we need to engage in if someone attempt to hurt us or curse us. But from the perspective on the principle of karma, if we allow these people to continue to beat us or curse us, is that causing them to continue